Welcome to Bullet Adventure and a beautiful weekend in paradise. I'm Tom, and this is my channel. And this weekend we are going to fly over Siem Reap. If you don't know, Siem Reap is one of the biggest cities in Cambodia, and it's the heart of the tourism in Cambodia because the UNESCO World Heritage of Angkor Wat. Beautiful temples which are older than 1,000 years and just massive. So if you've never visited or never seen any pictures of it, go check it out. So we were flying with Eddie. Eddie has over 20 years aviation experience, and before we flew he did some very strict safety measurements and instructions, and after that it was up and we started to fly and went up in the air and had an absolute blast seeing Siem Reap, the beautiful countryside, and some of the temples from above. But how close we actually get? Wait, and you gotta see in the next minutes. mid-flight, we took a little break. We landed on a little paved road, or actually gravel road in the middle of nowhere, in the countryside, which was pretty nice, pretty unexpected. And the reason why we landed was actually because our intercom had some technical issues. We figured it was the humidity in Cambodia, the humidity is very high, that the connectors of the communication systems were a little bit corroded, and the volume didn't come through. So while we could hear each other in our pre-flight test, the volume just wasn't enough to actually hear each other once we were airborne. So we figured it out, cleaned the connectors very quickly, and then we were up in the air. But, so we wanted to start, and we didn't have the usual things. Some locals showed by, and it took us a few minutes before we actually could play off. Like curious locals, no surprise, there's a little airplane suddenly standing in their turf.
Unless they know about a propeller, they don't understand how a propeller works.
Hello! They're very curious, looking at the little thing. Eddie told me that actually Cambodians call it do motor, which means flying motorbike. That's what they call this ultralight. In Cambodia, motorbikes are the number one mode of transportation, so they see this little airplane, they call it a flying motorbike, which I found was very funny. But once the locals passed, we were up and airborne again, and continued our enjoyable journey. Once we were airborne again, Eddie actually let me even fly the plane. You can see the triangles connected to the steering rack here, which I'm holding there right now in the passenger seat, in the back seat. They are teaching extensions of the steering rack. So you can see after we took off, Eddie gave me little instructions and showed me how to do it. And then he actually let me flew the plane. And I have to say, it's not easy. If you're a pilot yourself, or if you may know, any flying machine, even commercial airplanes, any input you do on steering, there's always a little delay. So it's not like a car where everything is solidly connected to the ground, and any input can be felt immediately. In flying, you always have a little bit of a delay, which means you go a little bit to the left, and it takes a few seconds before the plane actually goes to the left. Same to the other side. So what it ends up to, if you don't have years of experience and many hours of practice, it's really difficult to even fly in a straight line. So me flying there, trying to just keep a straight line, I believe people on the ground would probably think that I'm drunk. But what a great experience to actually feel this flying machine and see how it all works, and trying it for myself. Great experience. Then, after flying through the clouds for various minutes, we finally saw Angkor Wat. What a masterful piece of engineering. More than 800 years ago, the Cambodians of the Khmer Empire back then built this superstructure with their bare hands. Just like the Great Pyramids, it's still standing today in full glory. And then, after coming by the temples for a little while, we already were back for our landing and the finish of our flight. And I have to say, that landing definitely got my heart rate going. And touchdown! More than 20 years of flying experience Eddie is showcasing right there. I would have never imagined that the landing of such an ultralight can be as smooth. So, if you like that kind of content, like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.